We have been talking for months now about this election as the first big national vote-by-mail election because of the pandemic. But not anymore. That part of it is over. In part because they really did purposely monkey wrench the post office to make that simple and safe solution not work. And in part because they realized that way too many people were still voting. And so now they want to not count as many ballots as possible by any means necessary, right? We're seeing this flood of cases into the newly hardline conservative Supreme Court. Republicans fighting in state after state to get the United States Supreme Court to allow them to not count your ballot somehow, right? To limit the time you have to get your ballot in, to limit the places you can vote, to limit the number of places you can even just drop off your ballot, to add to the list of bogus, picayune reasons they can allege some imperfection in your vote to disqualify it, to stop the counting, to throw out as many ballots as they can. That's what the next week and beyond is going to be like. And so we stand in line. We take strength from our history. We will line up and do it. We will line up in places where they just want voting to take forever. So those with the least time and resources to spare have to give up. We will line up in places where they're determined to slow the mail so we can't vote safely from home, even in the pandemic. We will line up in places where they're determined that even if we cast our ballots, there will be challenges and tricks and rope courses that our ballots have to run through while they try to justify not counting them. The United States Supreme Court, under its previous conservative majority, took the heart out of the Voting Rights Act years ago. And now the work of protecting the vote and protecting voters' lives and protecting voters' ability to get this done, it lies as much with nonprofits and political parties and legal volunteers and citizen determination as it ever did under the Justice Department in years going back to 1965. Under this court, under this attorney general, under this president, there's not going to be any Justice Department attorneys riding in with the weight of the federal government on hand to protect citizens' rights to vote. It's not going to happen. We will have to patch it together ourselves. And no, importantly, we do not know what will happen at the end of the day. You never do. There are no guarantees. And right now in this election, again, we are 1 week out tonight. The attention, of course, is on the top of the ticket. The whole world's attention is on the top of the ticket in our country. But watch down ballot 2, where a fire hose of determined voters can do almost anything despite almost any odds. Watch down ballot. Watch the House, watch the Senate, watch the governorships, watch the state legislatures, watch county sheriffs. Think of old Jim Clark when you do so. So much is up for grabs now, this week, this time, in these next 7 days. If you find yourself standing in a line that ought to be a national embarrassment, if you are waiting to put your ballot in the county's one lonely drop box because they closed all the rest of them, know that you are pulling a thread through a lot of history. You are doing something we have all been taught how to do by some of the bravest, most persevering Americans who ever lived. You stand in the lines. You may not be able to do everything. Not everything may go your way, but you do what you can do, and you won't believe what you can do. The Associated Press sent their reporters and their photographers to cover that patient, brave, determined, steadfast surge of black voters in 1966 Alabama. Here's the final words of the AP caption under that photo that ran nationwide in 1966. It says, quote, "All in line got to vote." The lines may take forever, I know. Stay in line.